Hey guys, how's it going? This is Go Gib Go, and today I'm going to show you some of my favorite places in the French Riviera. The French Riviera is located on the Mediterranean coast in southeastern France and includes the independent microstate of Monaco. There's no official boundary, but it's generally considered spanning from Cassis in the west and making its way to Menton in the east. It's a place known for its beautiful beaches, charming towns and villages, perfect water, and is a playground for the rich. And today I'll show you some of my favorite places. Nice, where I lived for a month, is one of my favorite places on the French Riviera. It can be used as a home base given its central location, international airport, and major train station, but it's much more than that, and it's a destination in and of itself. It has a beautiful and enormous beach with a mixture of a rich royal blue and turquoise water, hugged by a long promenade, perfect for a daytime stroll. It also has an old town where you can lose yourself in the winding and narrow streets filled with a great food and drink scene and soak in older France. On top of making this your home base, I'd allocate at least a couple days here if it's your first time. The next place that I want to talk about, which is one of my favorite places on the French Riviera and a true hidden gem that I had not heard of before, is called Villefranche-sur-Mer, which is just east of Nice. It's about a 5 to 10 minute train ride away, which I recommend traveling in between places by train because it's very easy, very quick, albeit a little bit crowded or very crowded. Or you can walk, which is what I did if you have the time. It's about an hour-long walk where you can walk on the coastline, and then there's some hiking that you can do, and you can really get a little bit off the beaten path and have private coves and little beaches more to yourself and have a little bit more space. Villefranche itself is a beautiful little town that is more leisurely. There's a town so you can walk through the shops and restaurants, and there's also a nice beach which is actually sand, so you can actually walk and not hurt your feet, which is nice. I recommend if you want to spend a leisurely time, you could spend a full day here or use it as a home base as well. Or it could be an easy day trip or even a half day. The next place that I recommend is the next stop after Villefranche, making it 2 stops away from Nice, is called Saint-Jean-Cap-Ferrat. It is a peninsula right connected to Villefranche, and it is the second most expensive residential location in the world after Monaco. And looking at the footage, it's pretty clear there. It is filled with villas, filled with mansions, and even the Rothschilds have a villa there that's quite impressive. And I was lucky enough to escape with my life filming it with my drone. But as you can see, this is a very beautiful area. There's a lot of nice beaches. There's a nice French town to walk through. And yeah, I really enjoyed the beaches, the scenery, and immersing myself in French opulence. Just after Cap Ferrat is Beaulieu-sur-Mer, which means beautiful place, which, as you can see, it truly is a beautiful place. I actually got there. I went to most places through hiking, and I hiked from Cap Ferrat. I spent most of my day there, and then I ended about twilight time, and it was a beautiful walkway filled with people walking, a beautiful ocean. I really enjoyed it. And the following day, I got there in the morning, and yeah, it felt more like a town that people actually live in versus Cap Ferrat or Villefranche. So it had a little bit more activity and a little bit more independence from tourism, but it's a beautiful area. I recommend it. Not too much time, but if you want to check out the beach, there's also a villa that you can see here. That's also pretty nice. The next place to go to is called Ez, which I consider one of the most unique places, if not the most unique place in French Riviera. It is two parts. There is Ez Beach, which is quite nice, and a standard French Riviera beach. And then even more interesting is Ez Village, which is an medieval town on top of the hill that overlooks Ez Beach. It is incredibly crowded, especially during high season, which can be a little annoying and take a little bit away from it, but it's still very enjoyable. There's the Botanical Garden, which I highly recommend because it has the beautiful and famous views, which you can see here. And then there's also a really nice church, which is pretty and well worth going to. Cap d'Aille is the next town over from Ez, and I'd only recommend it if you've been to the French Riviera before or have extra time. Like other towns on the French Riviera, it has a beautiful coastline and is very pretty and has beautiful beaches. And a cool thing about it is that it feels more secluded because it's a little bit more off the beaten path than its more famous neighbors, so it feels more tranquil. Again, I wouldn't recommend coming here if you're short for time, but if you're not, you might want to check it out. And finally, we reached the westernmost part of the French Riviera, right on the border of Italy, called Menton. It's considered one of the most beautiful places on the French Riviera, with its pastel color houses, smell of citrus from its famous lemon trees, and its grand Baroque buildings. The narrow, winding streets are filled with charm and history and speak to a more classic time in the French Riviera, and given its frontier location, is a more humble and cheaper location than its more famous counterparts. I really enjoyed the beaches there. It had actual sand and way less stone, so it was nice to walk on and suntan, and it had beautiful turquoise water, which I'm a big fan of. The old town is really well sized, and you can just get lost in it, get a nice meal, sit outside for coffee and people watch. And another big benefit is it's one of the first and last stops on the French Riviera train, so it is very easy to actually get a seat when the trains get crowded. And that about wraps it up for the video. I thank you for watching this far, and I highly recommend going to the French Riviera. It's one of the most beautiful places I've ever been and one of my favorite regions of the world. And if you like this video, feel free to give it a like and subscribe if you want to listen to more travel content, and leave a comment with any questions that you may have.